plus the news and trending topics with Jason Mayhem Miller. And now, the only red carpets he cares about are the ones he used to clean when he was poor. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get the mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Love that about you, Mayhem in studio.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. All right, we'll bring Jessica in no time at all. Funny stand-up. Interesting stuff. I watched her special last night, so we'll get that with you. Let's see. All right, stuff. Curious about stuff, and I'm curious about the noticing and not noticing of stuff. I notice everything, so I'm bothered when people don't notice things. But also, when they don't notice things, then they never get your references.
Oh,
and I think it's a familial thing. I think my family, they didn't want to have conversations about stuff. So when you said, you know that commercial, or you know that time or that thing, they just go, nah. And then you'd go, oh. And now we're done. Because we're done with the conversation. My mom's greatest, she's got a lot of great hits. But one time, I was about 5 years ago, maybe a little more, my sister went on this long story about being in Encino, being at a supermarket, being a young girl, like maybe 9 years old, and she and my mom were walking around the supermarket, and she spotted Michael Jackson, which made sense because his compound was up there in Encino. And then my sister went into exquisite detail about being nervous. Michael Jackson was she was the biggest fan. She wrote fan letters to Michael Jackson. She loved Michael Jackson. She wove this whole tale at our Thanksgiving table about the time she saw Michael Jackson and it changed her life when she was 9. And then at some point, my sister looked up and said to my mom, remember that? And my mom went, no. And that was that. There's no more discussions of that. Plus, it now makes my sister seem like a liar because my mom would have been an adult and probably would have remembered running into the King of Pop. And not my mom didn't have a lot of A-listers in her galaxy. You know, they're mostly, working. No, she didn't have any celebrity friends. So you would know if you ran into Michael Jackson. And I do believe my sister, she just stopped the conversation by saying no, because there's nowhere else to go from there. Now, what I tell people all the time is, let's just say you don't remember, but your daughter just went into exquisite detail about it. You go, yeah, good dude. Some by the frozen peas, if I recall.
Great guy, never met him.
No, she's just like, no, I will stop this conversation dead in its tracks. So I don't like it. I got a weird burn my saddle when people go, I don't know. And people say, I don't know to everything. Like you go, you know those Geico commercials where that Flo chick is always doing?
No.
I don't know. No. And then you go, yeah, she's the Flo from Geico. She's
Never
always
heard of it.
But you get a lot of, I don't watch commercials. Yeah, I know. But it comes, okay.
No,
it shows up. Or you see it.
But now you get humanity doing the Hunchback of Notre Dame with their phone in their hand. Going, look, I'll show you.
So, Mike August, he never knows what you're talking about.
He is
or
a
he does.
character
He does.
around here.
He's great. I travel with him. When I travel with him, it makes me think of stuff. We were sitting in first class coming home from Florida, and at some point, with about an hour left in the flight, I got up to take a leak, and as I got up to take a leak, they put the serving cart and blocked the cockpit door. They put it across. They stand behind it, and then the cockpit door opens. And by the way, I didn't want to crawl back into my seat, which was against the window. I was just going to stand there, but they don't let you stand there. They do a hand, bring it down. back in the seat. You can't stand in the aisle.
Check you for box cutters.
Yes. So I just went and sat back down. And then there's Mike sitting on the aisle. And he goes, what's going on when she used the bathroom? I go, the pilot's using the bathroom. What's she got the cart sideways for? I go, they're blocking the aisle. Huh. Never seen that before. I go, Mike, they've been doing it for 24 years, Mike. They've been doing it since 9/11. They do it all the time. I've been on 30 flights with you where they do it on every flight. I mean, every flight more than 3 hours, and I've been on 2,000 flights with Mike more than 3 hours. They will block it because the guy's got to take a piss.
Yeah.
Never seen it before. I've got Mike. You have seen it 36 times. It didn't mean anything to you, and you don't care, which I'm jealous of. Because for me, I got to study it. I got to break it down. It doesn't register.
You might want to take him to lens crafters. I feel like he just doesn't see anything.
It's not that he doesn't see it. He doesn't.
It's a
doesn't
blank.
register.
It's a blank spot in his
and
vision.
all people who say like they go, "I've never seen that guy." Go, yes, you have. You've seen it. It doesn't register
Got
for
good
you.
pattern recognition software. He does not.
Yes, that's what I do. I study patterns. All right, but in a way, he's freer than all of us. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. He's like using brain power in another direction where he has blind spots in complete swaths of his vision.
Oh my God, did we, Mike and I watch silent movies on the flight, but they're not silent movies. They're modern movies, but we don't turn the sound up. I think I came up, and some movies suffer from it.
Yeah.
But others don't.
I know.
We watched Jason Statham's The Beekeeper. That movie, sound only slows it down. You do not need sound. You know exactly what's going on every step of that movie. He's got the bees. He's a beekeeper, but they pull him out because they screw over his black friend, and now he goes on a rampage. And you don't need any sound for the beekeeper. I know exactly what he's saying. I know exactly where we're at in the plot. I know exactly. It would be less enjoyable with sound.
I agree.
We watch the entire beekeeper. You know the one thing I don't get about all movies with
Statham?
all movies with Statham and guns.
Yeah.
Could folk who have the gun, you don't have a physical advantage against Statham. He's a killing machine, but you do have your own killing machine in the form of a gun, and it's in your hand, and he doesn't have one. Why do you have to press it against him when you get behind him? Why do you have to touch him with the nozzle of the gun? How about you stand 9 feet away?
Nah.
And just
you
hold the
gotta
gun
push
out?
that muzzle right up against
you gotta
the
go
plot
up against.
armor. Yeah.
So at some point, he does the spin move, and he has the gun because you physically need to touch him with the gun. Why? I don't know how guns work. I've not been in combat. Your dad was a veteran. Yeah. Did he have to physically press the rifle against the enemy, or could he do it from a distance?
Every Iraqi killed,
right
point
up
blank.
against.
Point blank. That's the only way you do it.
It's always the same thing. He's got the gun. Turn the fuck around. Move back. Just move it back. He's going to spin. He's going to get the gun. The other thing they do that's crazy is at some point, Statham is like coming for the big man.
Yep.
You know? He's
got to get that final boss music.
He's coming
going.
for you.
Don't even need it.
Now, that boss has a security detail.
Oh, you got to whip their ass real quick.
I know, but theoretically, they're like the Secret Service or the Navy SEALs or the Marines or something. They are trained. They're dudes.
They're men. They bleed blood just like us.
They're trained. There's a whole bunch of
be broken
guys that are trained, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're going to get their neck snapped right here by Statham.
His thing is...
You see that judo throw? Look at that cat. Oh my.
But here's
Jeet Kune Do. You see this? Technique, uppercut. Whoa, gun fu, baby. John Wick got nothing on Statham.
All right. What I'm saying is could somebody step back and shoot him, or do we have to charge at him with the gun all the time?
No.
And at some point, he ends up going to a place like the White House, and he walks up like 7 flights of stairs, and on every floor there's 5 guys with rifles, and he just walks up to him, and then he grabs a rifle.
He was jogging. He's got his conditioning circuit. Okay?
Shoot him with your gun at a distance. That's all I'm saying.
Statham had excellent footwork. I really believe that's the reason he's getting up those stairs.
No, there is no reason for sound. We watched that entire movie with no sound on.
Say 5 stars then.
Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable.
Great. I'll check it out.
All right. We got some Met Gala photos. I think we got some news to get into.
That's like the celebrity prom, right? Where everyone dressed up all weird.
It's sad.
What is it? It's an art party?
I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Did Andy Warhol go to it?
That's a good question. He would have if they had it, and they probably have.
Oh, okay.
They pick a theme.
What?
These guys change outfits.
It's the new Pope on the left, right?
Okay, it's garish. It's a huge waste of money. I don't know how it goes, but they have to. I don't know how they got straight dudes into this. This is kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying, where did the straight dudes come from?
I'll tell you how. There's those models up there.
Oh, they want to fuck them.
Yeah, you want to bang the models, you got to wear this cartoonish suit.
Yeah. Well, the sad one is Goggins. What's his name?
What do they do? What do they do? What did they do to my beautiful boy?
Is he going nuts or what's going on? Like, I saw him in Hateful Eight, and I was like, oh, this guy's great. He's the best. He's the best. He dropped 175 N-bombs, and that's not the reason I liked him. I liked his acting chops. He was great in that movie. I don't know if he got nominated, but he was great. But something happened. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
He started a business. He's selling sunglasses.
Good. I want some.
I saw the commercial.
Yeah.
Sick.
Right.
And,
that would be a commercial where I would say to Mike Goggins, you seen Goggins goggles? You seen the commercial with showing something? He'd go, no, I've never seen it. I go, you've seen it, Mike. No, I've never seen it. But I've seen it 128 times. So you've seen it, Mike. No, I've never seen it.
This Met Gala picture and thing might just be, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and it might translate into some Goggins goggles.
Yeah, hell yeah, I believe so.
I don't like it when the dudes I like start showing up to these things.
What? Are you being homophobic? Because I feel like this is like a kind of a kilt, bro. Like it's kind of I can get down with this. I could wear this and throw a battle axe into a man's face. That's the vibe I'm getting. But he is standing there real dainty.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Yeah, it's like, he kind of looks like wearing a trench coat.
Something happened. I don't know. He went vegan or he did something. He did a master cleanse or something happened to him.
He became effeminate overnight.
What's wrong with pants? Right?
Got to let my balls breathe.
I don't find them confining or confining at all. So no, there's nothing wrong with pants. Anyway, he's done it. And then there's what Smith is there?
Anna Nicole?
No, I think she may be gone. There's Sam Smith. That's a different Smith. He's wearing a big baggy, flirty handful of chiffon. I don't know what that.
He looked like wearing hockey skates.
The sexual confusion thing. I am so bored of all these folks that are like confused sexually.
I thought he was carrying a giant handbag. Is that his skirt he's holding up?
Yes, I'm done.
Weird.
Maybe it was Willow Smith. I'm trying to think it was Jaden Smith. I'm trying to think of who I saw the picture of, but those Smith kids came out weird, didn't they? Jaden Smith. He's all androgynous and skinny, and I don't know. He has face tattoos. It's all too much trouble for me. It's just way too much trouble.
Look a little Tutankhamun, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's just something with Will Smith, right? What's with Will Smith? Like, what's with all the weirdness? You know what I mean? Like, everything is weird. There's everything around him.
You mean like Illuminati?
His relationship is weird. His kids are weird. Like, it's all weird. He seems weird. Everything is weird. I don't know what that is. I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's ever since he whistled for that cab when it came near. Yeah. License plate said fresh and had ice in the mirror.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah, I think it's his wife. I blame his wife. All right. Anyway, you got some news to get into around here?
Some news. First up, JK Rowling responds to Harry Potter stars signing a pro-trans letter with a scathing essay titled Motivated by Fear. Yeah. Apparently, the UK Supreme Court ruled that the terms woman and sex strictly refer to biological woman and biological sex, and the Harry Potter actors, including Eddie Redmayne, Papa Essadou, and Katie Long.
All right, first off, no one would know who the fuck you were if this bitch didn't write this book series. So fuck right off.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, here's kind of the problem in life. She's not the problem. JK Rowling is not the problem for anything on any score. It's listen to me, everybody. This is a big problem we're having. We're all on a giant Viking ship known as humanity. And you either got an oar in your hand and you're rowing. If you got an oar in your hand and you're rowing, that means you're not committing crime, you're paying taxes, and you're not littering or defacing property or anything. You just pay taxes, you don't litter, and you don't commit crime. And you raise your kids, and you take care of your kids, and you make sure that neither you or any of your family members is a burden on the Viking ship. Okay. And so about the best you're going to do is some guy who pays a shitload in taxes, creates a lot of work for other Vikings, and pays for his kids, and keeps his nose clean. That's a guy's just paddling the shit out of the Viking
What
ship.
if I just want to play the drums?
Oh, well, you can. We only need one of those guys.
All right.
But there are many people with paddles. All right. Now, if you take somebody, like you go, all right, this is a gay couple.
All right.
And they never had any kids. And they both work, and they're both professionals, and
high disposable income.
They pay a lot in taxes between the two of them, and they keep their yard pristine, and they've never been pulled over in their Miata for speeding, and they never killed anyone drunk driving. And then they adopted those kids. They adopted those two black kids because people didn't want them. They wanted the white kids, but these guys adopted the black kids, and you go. And by the way, they didn't have biological kids. They weren't a burden on the system. They pay for their kids to go to private school instead of have them in the public school. Those guys are rowing. They're rowing hard.
Yeah.
And they're in the Viking ship. And people can go, I don't like that guy's attitude. Or you know what? I don't like his lifestyle. Or I don't like it. He's rowing in the Viking ship. Okay? Then you go to people like my aforementioned mom. She's not committing crimes, but she doesn't really have an oar in her hand. You know what I mean?
I got it.
She's just kind of sitting on the bench. And she is talking about how more people need to row harder, but she's not doing any rowing herself. She's talking about how the rich guys start all the companies and has all the kids and employs everyone and pays all the taxes. She's sitting on the bench saying that guy needs to row more. He needs to row more. But she doesn't do any rowing. Okay. But she's not dragging her oar in the water.
Yeah.
Now we get to the oar draggers. Those are the welfare mamas. Those are the people that are crapping out kids, and their kids are running around, and they're getting into gangs, and there's a rap sheet, and there's a shooting, and there's a fill up the schools, and there's fill up the emergency rooms because you don't have proper coverage, you don't have insurance, you didn't set aside, you're not paying taxes. Those are the oar draggers.
Yeah.
Those are the draggers.
The corpses.
And then you get into the terrorists who would like to blow the rudder off the ship. They are physically trying to blow the rudder off the ship and blow a hole in the side of the ship. And those we have to actively kill and attack and round up. My mom, you don't really need to throw her off the boat, although it's not going to change anything if she gets thrown off the boat. But you just go, let her sit there. And then someone goes, yeah, but why does she get a provision of food and gruel and rum? Why does she get... The food is for the rowers. And then people go, I don't know. She had a tough childhood. She's not capable of rowing. But we'll give her some provisions. We'll give her some food. And then there's the welfare mama. And that welfare mama is saying she deserves more food than the guys that are rowing. But fine, as long as we can keep her percentages down. What we need is, it's a percentage game. The second there's more welfare mamas and more Chris Carollas in that Viking ship than there are rowers, we're fucked. We're fucked. And we're kind of getting there. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. All right. So I don't want to live in a world where we create more of them. Okay. Because they're taking over the ship. The terrorists, the people who are trying to blow up the ship and blow the rudder off, need to be tossed overboard. They need to be killed. They need to be jettisoned from our Viking ship. Okay? I'm a rower. You get it? So, JK Rowling, she is a rower. Right. Leave her the fuck alone. We have no problems with her. She creates tons of jobs and pays tons of taxes. She's a rower. Now, for some reason, in the last 15 minutes, we thought it'd be a good idea to go after the rowers. Leave the rowers alone. The guys who sneak into this country, the Maryland dads who beat on their wives and are gangbangers, those are the non-rowers. But you seem to embrace the non-rowers and attack the rowers, and that makes you fucking retarded. All right, next story.
Billionaire Barry Diller, 83, comes out as gay after a 24-year marriage to Diane von Furstenberg. I did not know that this is a real person. I've heard that name many times.
Diane von Furstenberg?
Didn't realize that was... I thought it was a character that played a woman who was a
You thought it was Thurston Howell III's wife?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't connect it until this story. But yeah, he says he's gay after all these years, and he's openly speaking for the first time about his past relationships.
He does men. Look, you see, here's how you can tell gay.
That twinkle in his face.
You know what it is? Saying? When they have nice skin.
Yeah, very inviting
when they
face.
take care of their skin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Too nice.
Yeah. So, he does look like a gay Steve Martin, doesn't he?
He does.
So he's a super rich guy, right?
Super rich, yeah, billionaire. And he was married to her forever. The couple was on and off and separated in 1981, and they got back together in 91, which is a weird,
This is an indictment of her and her sexuality as well, I think.
You think so? Oh,
it's a little... Let's just say this, all right?
Yeah.
I'll say this. If your child commits suicide, it's not your fault, but there's a little bit of residual stuff that goes on to the parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe not the greatest environment or parenting or something. It's not your fault, but it's not a compliment to the parenting. And when you go gay... It's not your wife's fault, but there's a little residual.
What do you mean? Nah, I don't understand. You mean like his wife she did put him around the most beautiful men on earth all the time.
I want to say this.
So, it's possible that he just caught the gay secondhand.
I think we can agree, or can we agree? Do we agree that a man can drive a woman into another woman's arms in some percentage? In some percentage. 81% of lesbians are just lesbians, but there's 19% that are just so fucking done with dudes that they want to be with a woman.
You talking about Margaret Cho?
Yeah. That's who I was thinking about.
Yeah. Why you push her into lesbianism?
I may have driven her.
You driven her gay.
To lesbonia. Okay. If, in fact, a guy can be bad enough, a string of guys can be bad enough to turn a woman into the arms of another woman, is there a reverse of that? Can you be a big enough shrew? I don't think so. I disagree with my own premise, but I'm just saying. No, you just find another chick, right? But can a woman drive a man into the arms of another man?
Yeah, my ex did.
Your ex drove you?
No.
Do the math.
Oh, man.
It doesn't work the same way. But we will agree that a man can eventually burn out a woman to the point where she just wants to be with another woman, right?
I mean, that's how I see it in all the videos.
Oh, yeah. Just scissoring videos you look at.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so he came out as gay.
But, yeah, he said he was, gay all the time. You know, there's, I don't know. I think sexuality is definitely a spectrum.
Is there okay, here's what I like to say. I used to say it on Loveline all the time. When a guy says he's bi, he's saying bye to heterosexuality. Bye-bye. I'm gay now.
But it's not so rigid these days. You know what I mean? It's a very different time.
I know, but I always say bi is gay with a publicist. They're just not willing to commit. It's always the same thing. Elton John is bi for 3 years, and then he's been gay for the last 75 years, right? They always start off, they transition.
Freddie Mercury, same kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I don't know his bi years.
I read the book. It was like he had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know. I read. He had a girlfriend, but he was kind of, had those. He was developing his sexuality.
Does it ever go back? Was it maybe David Bowie, maybe Mick Jagger? Do those guys
sometimes you want to bang a
circle
boy,
back to
sometimes
straight?
you want to bang a girl? It's different seasons, really.
All right. Well, anyway, I don't think he needs to come out at the ripe old age of 84. That's also kind of weird for his adult kids, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, okay.
Yeah, his adult kids, 50 some odd years old.
Wow, we're looking at gay Steve Martin. That is true. And they go to the same optometrist. And the same
went to
tailor.
the Met Gala with the arrow through his head?
Yep.
Beautiful.
All right, so gay, rich, who cares? What else?
What else is prosecutors call out Diddy over Mark Geragos consulting in court? Yeah, the Sean Diddy Combs getting extra guidance in court from famed attorney Mark Geragos, but federal prosecutors ain't having it. I love when TMZ writes a story.
Well, he's doing a podcast. I think that's what they're...
Yeah, he's doing the podcast. Well, apparently Geragos was seen consulting with the defense. So saying the prosecutors are saying, hey, you can't do that. That you cannot make statements if you're consulting with the defense side. The same way Diddy went after the prosecutors for making statements about the case. So they're battling back and forth. Yeah.
I think his daughter, Tenny, is with the firm that is on Diddy's case. See if Tenny Geragos, she's a daughter. Daughter.
Okay.
She's a delight. She's great. See her all the time. Actually went to her wedding in Geragos' yard, which is a rich man, poor man thing. Wedding in your yard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
you're rich or poor. He's on the rich. He's on the rich side.
Yeah.
So
on the poor.
Yeah, the Carollas did the yard. That was the poor side. But my sister, not me.
Yeah, my sister too.
But she, I think, is on the case. The thing that's always funny is all these guys show up to court, whoever they are. There's a Luigi Mangione guy. You see him in court. You see this guy in court. Everybody, you see the Menendez brothers in court. They all have the same V-neck sweater with the collar of the dress shirt pulled out of it.
The innocent
Somebody
look.
decided the most innocent look there is a button-down white collar hanging out of a V-neck sweater. When you see that guy, you go, that guy's not capable of hurting another human or much less raping them or killing them.
Teddy bear.
And it's kind of true. Like if you're walking down the sidewalk at night and some dude you never knew before had a V-neck with a button-down collar hanging out, you go, I don't have to cross the street. So every shot, oh my God, we're going.
That's how you get it, Lee Harvey.
Lee Harvey Oswald had a collar hanging out.
He's trying to look innocent.
There's a standard look when your lawyer wants you to look innocent. Like you cannot wear a suede vest with no shirt underneath and like a big medallion hanging out or anything like that. You must wear a... By the way,
Indian suede vest.
I mean, you have to wear buckskin, a collar and a sweater.
Yeah.
But the thing that's funny, you know what I would do?
What would you do?
You know what? If you find me, all right, that's Lee Harvey Oswald. If you find me pictures, or I should say it's courtroom artist who seems pretty bad on this one, but the courtroom artist on the P. Diddy thing, he's got the sweater with the collar hanging out, right?
Ted Bundy rocked that.
Did he?
Yep.
All right. Now, you know what I would do? I would flip the script on his fucking collar and V-neck sweater. You know what I would do?
You'd wear the sweater on the inside and then put the dress shirt on the outside?
That's a metaphor. I'm not actually flipping this stuff around. I would, if I were the prosecutor, I would go, everyone, look at P. Diddy over here. Look at him. He's got his collar. He's got his V-neck sweater.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to, this is him. He's got his collar hanging out of his V-neck sweater. There's other pictures. There's photos of him, I should say, with the collar V-neck. Okay, the Menendez Reservoir. But you know what I would do with P. Diddy? I should talk to Geragos. I would
say consult. You can't have a podcast and consult on the case.
I would say, I go, okay, see the guy in front of him? Yeah, he's got a nice V-neck. Yeah. V-neck with a white collar button down? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to show you 100 pictures of P. Diddy now, and we're going to see if we can find one where he's wearing a fucking V-neck sweater with a collar hanging out. Here he is, all dress head tone leather. Here he is at this award. Here he is at home. Here he is on vacation. Can anybody produce a picture of this man wearing anything close to what he's wearing in court today? You cannot, because he's a liar and he's a phony. And he's trying to manipulate you just like he was trying to manipulate his victims.
Objection, Your Honor. Relevance.
This is his opening statement. I'll allow it.
So that's what he's doing. He is trying to paint a picture of an upstanding citizen who used to be a great rower in the Viking ship.
He was, yeah.
But he put the oar down. He picked up the oil, and now he's going in the hoosegow.
Maybe he just stopped rowing with that oar.
Stop rowing with that oar. All right.
Other jobs for it.
That's what happened. And by the way, let's see. Where's Cody's? Am I missing something? Oh, I see. Speaking of Geragos.
Yeah.
Cody Walker, Paul Walker's brother, is going to join us. I consulted Geragos. I'm pretty sure Geragos was in the wrongful death sue Porsche for the crash that killed Paul Walker thing. And it was a Porsche supercar. And it was a Carrera GT supercar. And that's what killed him. And what killed him is he hit a tree.
Yeah.
And it's a rear engine, mid-engine. It's a mid-engine car, and the fuel tank is just a big tin can in the front. Thing hit a tree, gas all over everyone, blew up. Okay. I said to him, here's the angle you got to work, Geragos. That was basically a supercar, like a track car. And its price tag was, $1 million new, or I don't know, maybe it was $800,000 or whatever. For another $200, you could add a fuel cell in the front of that car. A safe fuel cell.
A bladder that just pops?
A bladder. Every one of my race cars, fuel cell.
Oh, yeah.
Shoot it with a bullet, roll it over a tree. Nothing. There's
just
nothing.
Splash out?
Nothing. It's got a bladder in it.
So it just slops around. It doesn't.
It's got a bladder and foam in it, so it doesn't. You can rant. So the point is if the car had a fuel cell, they'd be alive. And if you're going to make a car that's $1 million supercar, and you're into safety, then that car should come with a fuel cell.
For extra what? Yeah, $200.
I mean, when you're manufacturing the car, like honestly, I mean, I don't know. Okay, you're selling the car for $875,000. Maximum $1,200 more to the. By the way, you just add it to the sticker price, and then everyone's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. He picked that argument up. Anyway. All right. Well, who do I got? Oh, yeah. Jessica Michelle Singleton. Very funny stand-up comedian. We'll talk to her right after this. Chime. Oh, everything's more expensive these days. Man. You don't want credit card debt because they charge you so much in interest. Look, there's a better way. You can build credit with money you set aside and avoid interest and expensive debt with Chime's Credit Builder Card. It's a secured credit card with no credit check or minimum deposit required. Better credit can give you access to lower rates on loans, like for a car or for a home. It's true. The worse your credit is, the more you have to pay, which is sad, but that's reality. It's easier to secure an apartment or a house. Landlords often check credit scores to evaluate rental applications. A good score can make a big difference. Turn your everyday purchases and on-time payments into steps toward your financial goals with Chime's Secured Credit Builder Visa Credit Card. Am I right, Dawson?
Get started today at chime.com/Adam. That's chime.com/Adam. Chime feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa Credit Card is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime checking account required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively affect your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details.
Homes.com. Oh, I love me some Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. That's why you gotta go to Homes.com. I do it, and I suggest you do it as well. Homes.com. We've done your homework.
You don't know your parents are fucked up as a kid? I'd fucking know. I thought everybody's mom was going into Heineken blackouts at 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings, just rocking back and forth to the Eagles so loud the neighbors had to call the police. Take it easy! No, you take it easy, bitch. If that cigarette falls off your face, this house will burn to the ground in seconds.
Jessica Michelle Singleton is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Oh. Yeah, very funny stamp special. Hi, y'all. It's available now at PunchUp Live, which I have questions about, but I watched it last night.
I'll answer any questions you have about it.
So how does PunchUp Live work?
It's actually a real pro comedy website. It's comedians make profiles, and then when people come over to follow or like see your stuff, they put in their email and their zip code, and then they're on your subscription list. So as a comedian, when you go somewhere, you can send an email to people who have signed up in that area. It's really great for ticket sales.
Oh, it's for ticket, yeah.
And then if you're like a comedy lover, it'll show you, oh, you like this person, think about subscribing to this person, and it shows you, here's some live shows going on in your area. It's really great for live comedy.
Right.
Which is ironic, being like, watch my not live thing and for live comedy. But
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, and have you checked the you may also like? And I'm just going to preface it by telling you, Andrew, I always forget to write this one down or something. I wrote it down a million years ago. But once I was like on one of those Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb or something, and I looked up a movie I made called The Hammer, and they go, you may also like, and it was like Tyler Perry, I Can Break Bad all my own or something. It's like, Tyler Perry, my movie, have nothing. I hate Tyler Perry. He's horrible. But also, if you love Tyler Perry, you're going to hate me. Like, how did you get on the to-do? Like, you would also like.
It is, that is usually rough. I haven't looked on PunchUp, but I've seen it like a Pandora or my podcast. It'll be like, well, this has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Or like as a female comedian, it'll just be, no matter what I talk about, it will only suggest women.
If you like Adam Carolla's podcast, you also may enjoy Alyssa Milano's. Like, no, but where? I don't know what their algorithm is.
No, it's just one
And by the way,
guy.
Tyler Perry would be way more insulted than I am. He's ripshit about being compared to me or whoever the list was. But anyway, it's a very funny stand-up special.
Well, thank you.
I would call it bold. Lots of tough subject matter.
Oh yeah,
in there.
That's what I like to do. I like to talk about horrifying things and see if I can make them funny, I guess.
Yeah, and interesting, like, premises, like not like dating, am I right, ladies? Like that I don't like
stock.
Yeah, it's just I don't like fat comics who just talk about, I just got back from the buffet.
It's like anything else.
Anything else. Something interesting.
Like, we get it, you're fat. But thank you for thinking that, people will be like, we get it, you're dating.
Yeah.
You're out there, which is not untrue.
Well, I just mean it's not it's not that much of a novelty. Like when a woman goes, what's it like dating? Okay, you date, I date, he dates, she dates. Okay,
yeah.
We're done. We're done with the dating. It's not like, that unique.
And how can you have a new angle on it at this point? You
know
what I mean? It's like, we get it. It sucks.
Well, I haven't seen your special yet. I can't wait to watch it. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. No, what can we expect? Like, what is he talking about? Do you trauma dump for 1 hour? I'm a little nervous to watch it. I wouldn't call it
trauma dumping. There's definitely trauma in there, but I think it's finding funny things about trauma or my childhood. I grew up in the South.
Because you said your mom, this was like shocking to me. I know, it's funny.
Wait, did you have a great mom?
No, hell no.
Didn't chain smoke?
No, she beat me. She chained me to the radiator and just burned me with cigarettes.
Yeah,
wait a minute. Your mom made you
JK,
sandwiches.
Mom.
Your mom.
I know she watches, so I just wanted to
made you
make her part of the joke right now. My mom made me bologna sandwiches all the time. Sometimes PB and J. They were delightful.
All right.
I'd often have a glass of iced tea.
All right, hold up. Hold on a second.
That's pretty hurtful.
I want to say this. As I was watching your special, I was thinking about this. I have bad parents, but not addiction.
Yeah.
Which in a weird way, because when I describe my parents to people...
You're like, they're not drunk?
I used to say that to Dr. Drew. He'd go, drugs, man. They'll really... I go, no drugs. And then now we're left to, just bad. You know
just
what I mean?
terrible. I mean, my mom got sober, and I was like, I think you were better drinking.
So...
Something to blame.
But I do feel like the impact is greater on a female psyche than a male's psyche growing up with these people.
I don't know. My brother seems way more fucked up than I am.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think
he's not channeling it into what you're...
No, you know what? He needs a creative outlet. He needs to just get back into freestyle rapping.
So your brother got screwed up. I'll say this. Women normally imbibe the bad more. Guys go out and play sports and like wrestle other dudes. Like they go fight. They fucking fight. Like they go out and they just live on a football. Life. They live on a football field. You know what I mean? And they wrestle with other guys. And that's what I did. I just went, oh, fuck this. And I left. I came sort of unscathed, semi-unscathed because I was just out with normal dudes like the whole time.
And it just forces you. I think, what helped me a little, even though I'm objectively psychotic, is I hung out with a lot of dudes. I think I acted like a dude.
Yeah, that'll help.
You have a bro
I was
vibe.
Fucking and fighting. And
yeah.
Well, I grew up on the Man Show, and I was like, boys think this is cool. That's how they'll like me. And then they were like, I think she's a lesbian, but she can hang out.
Cool. Did your mom ever? Your dad ever circle back Did he left? Did he get sober?
He got, well, I don't think he ever got like fully sober, but there were a few years in high school. It's actually so fucked up. There were a few years in high school. We were still in like contact and stuff, but my mom moved us in 6th grade from Mississippi to Alaska, and he was in Florida. Just
perfect.
Mething out. And then I went to college in Florida. Now, this is the sad girls can't get more fucked up part, but I was like, I'll go to college in Florida and be close to my dad. And then he left again.
Oh, yeah. He moved out to Alaska.
When I was 21. He just moved to Texas. I never saw him again.
I think that's the thing. I know it from my sister. She always held on to the dream that somehow things were going to change this time, and that person who just never cared woke up at some point and started caring, but they don't.
I blame movies.
I blame movies.
They're not going to find God in change and be like, I've realized the errors of my way. It's actually better to just go, they're just going to keep leaving.
I felt the same way. I blame movies and the Love Boat. The Love Boat.
I blame the Love Boat.
All you had to do was go to the railing and look sad for like 10 seconds, and the person you love would come up behind you, and they'd put their hand on your shoulder, and you'd go, Becky, I didn't mean a thing I said back there. Will you have me? And I always thought, just pouting by that railing.
What a sham. Yeah.
I know, but the person never comes, and they never knock on the door, and they never ride. Do I what?
Yeah, do you do that? Do you
show up for the person at the railing? Yeah, you show up and you go, knock it off.
Yeah.
Suck it up. You're not going to manipulate me with your tears.
You know him then. You're a listener.
Mine's like, move over. I got to piss.
Yeah. Are we jumping off this railing or not?
All right. Where is that? You can look for the Hammer and what they recommend. I don't know I don't know where it is, but I swear to God, there's movies on there
movie
that I would never think of in a million years. So
Medea
it's good.
A podcast.
So you go out. Sorry, PunchUp Live.
Yes, PunchUp.live.
This is interesting. Yeah.
Oh wait, let's see. What movie?
Havoc.
Bum bum bum.
Oh, is that Snow White on the right?
I can't even talk about that.
These are movies that they're also recommending if they see my boxing movie, the Hammer.
Yeah.
Hammer. Okay.
It's an independent film with a heart of gold.
Let's see. More like this.
That's why. It's all like, kind of in the wheelhouse of Havoc is the one Tom Hardy. That's why. I know that one, but I don't know these films.
Companion?
So Captain America's up in there. That's for sure. You saw that?
Everybody wants to be Italian.
Oh, good luck,
You
Chuck.
kill me. Good luck, Chuck's a banger.
Good luck, Chuck has a 5 on the Rotten Tomatoes. The Hammer has an 82. It's an 82, and you want me to go to a Dane Cook 5 from an 82? You will get the Benz if you go from my movie to Good Luck, Chuck. Good Luck, Chuck is Good Luck, Chuck has one of the most insulting scenes and premise, but the most insulting scene ever for women.
What? Which scene?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I watched it when I
watched it back then. But
You
now
can find
it.
What happened is he was cursed as a kid.
Yeah.
And then everybody he banged got married
right after.
to the next guy, right?
In there.
So every woman, of course, wants to bang him because every woman's goal is to get married as soon as she can.
Like, I'll use you to find my husband.
I'll suck your dick, and then I'll find the man of my dreams, which is already a kind of insulting.
And let me tell you, don't fall for
premise.
it, ladies. You're just going to be sucking dick after dick looking for the one.
But what they had to do is they had to really put the premise to the test, right? So Dane Cook had to fuck a super fat pig of a woman because surely nobody would want her.
Ew, who would ever love a fat lady?
You're right.
And the
remember now.
The fat woman, when he took her out to lunch, was just grabbing whole lobsters and eating them in the middle. Right? Because that's what fat people
That's all they do.
And that's all they do is they
2000s
eat.
comedies.
Now, my argument is a fat chick, if she does get asked out by Dane Cook, carb loads before the meal, so then orders the dinner salad and says, that's all for me.
Hey, that's not just fat chicks.
That's all chicks.
I don't have an appetite.
You got to watch this scene. She has 11 lobsters piled up on her tray because she's fat. And she's also a slob. She doesn't know how to use a knife or fork or anything. And she's shoving the food in her face. And he's just pounding tequila.
Seems a bit mean-spirited.
This movie was made in modern times, is what I'm saying. I'll watch 30 seconds of it if we have it. She's got 2 lobsters.
He so just did $1,000, and all you have to do is take me to dinner.
He just did 3 tequila shots.
Well, I actually thought that maybe we could, you and I could.
He's gonna yak because she's so fat. And he's got a fucker.
Right. I don't know, man. A little shading.
I'm gonna fuck you till you die.
There's a lot of men who would really love that.
Mukbang chicks.
By the way, all right, hold on.
We had to give her. Also, she's
top.
fucking.
Yeah, top. Let's do this.
Can I say this? I don't know how. I've been to nice restaurants. You order like 1 drink at a time, but he ordered a flight of tequila shots. I get like 13.
Just an
Load
endless.
me up with 13 tequila shots.
Yeah, like it's Senor Frogs.
And it's not enough that she be fat. And she's 2-fisting the lobster. I don't know how she's doing the lobster.
We also gave her back knee.
Right. She has to have boils on her back. She has to have a carbuncle on her shoulder.
The lobster trying to escape her skin.
And then there's the post one where Dane Cook has to take a rape shower because he's using like Baraxo on his balls because he fucked an unattractive woman. So when you fuck someone who's under a 3, you got to scrub your dick. I'll put my dick overnight in one of those barber containers where I put the combs. I'll just let it rest overnight. Yeah, just to decontaminate.
Put the plunger on his face when he kissed the
dude.
You wake up and it's liquid butter.
Yeah, this is an insult. This is insulting.
I can't believe nobody of all the things that have resurfaced over the last few years of people being like, cancel them because of this thing from the past. I can't believe this is the first time this has been brought up.
I know.
Joanna Man's gone, but this remains. And it's being recommended by someone who loves the crowd-pleasing classic.
You'll love Good Luck
Hammer.
So insulting.
82 to a 5. To a 5.
A 5.
By the way, this is the slapstickiest, shittiest, fucked out premise movie ever made. There's no way.
Correct.
And listen, I'm willing to say it's a 2-way street. If you really liked Good Luck Chuck, you're probably not going to like The Hammer. This is like you saying, hey, if you like Steely Dan, you're going to love Paula Abdul. And it's like, no. You would be the opposite.
I do want to meet the person who is in that Venn diagram, though.
Who makes it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it an algorithm, or is it just someone who hates Adam Carolla?
It's algorithm because think about it. It's a stand-up comedian who is in a movie.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's the category you're in, right
just
there.
Just goes, this person did stand up. That's the same.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Algo.
Yeah.
The algorithm's hell.
So, anyway. PunchUp Live.
Yes.
Sorry. You go there, you put your special up.
Yes.
Do they help you shoot the special?
They didn't. I think they are like expanding and doing more of that. Mine's, you might have noticed when you saw it, it was pretty low budget. Did it myself. Hired a local camera crew in New Orleans, propped up 3 cameras and just said, if we get it, we get it.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, first off, it's comedy. So it's like, a stool and a microphone and a water. It's not supposed to be a big
People
event.
are getting drones and flying in. It's like, you just need to capture the jokes. So I was like, why am I overthinking it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting back to that kind of stripped down, pure version of it.
I hope so.
We're getting away from the big arena vibe,
Yeah, I think arena comedy is why I got to open a show in an arena in Anchorage recently for Tom Segura, and it's like cool to be like, I'm doing an arena, but it's not. As a comedian, you're like, this doesn't feel good. Mm-hmm. This feels strange, and like I'm in a cave, no matter how hard they laugh. I just like the low ceiling, fire hazard.
Yeah.
Let's all get trampled if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
That's how comedy should be.
Yeah,
people get angry,
agree.
somebody dies.
I want to ask though. Oh God, I just got back from doing a bunch of shows, but I want to say, you tell me whose job this is. There was a woman showed up for the early. I know. I had to fuck her. She was shellfish. But you understand, if that fat cow gets married after Dane plows her, then it really is a curse because nobody could marry.
No one could marry.
No one could love her because she's fat.
Oh, can you imagine?
So now,
a woman shows up.
She's sitting always right up against the stage, front and center, just front and center. And the worst are had a prime, blondes that had a prime, past the prime, but drunk. Think they're in the middle of the prime. So they talk.
Still got it.
Yeah, and they're loud. And she is loud. And I'm like, all right, I get it. You're drunk. We're at a comedy show, and you're drunk, and you're talking loud. And then I do what I think all the time is I look across the table at her dude, who's like he is a good-sized dude, like a well-built dude. And I said to the guy, hey, you should tell her to bring it down a couple decibels. And he's like, that's not my job, bro. And she's just talking and loud. And I'm like, tell her to bring it down, And he goes, nah. And then I go, look, this isn't really an indictment of you or of her, but this is like couples. Women will like lay out a shirt and go, wear this shirt to the wedding. Or it's a little guidance. You know what I mean? It's not an insult. It's help. It's help. Just tell her to bring it down a couple of notches.
Yeah, help her.
And then this guy turns into a fucking douchebag. He's like, I pick out my own clothes, bro. And I'm like, okay, I'm making a metaphor. But what I'm saying is there's a woman who's sitting in front of you who you're married to, who's drunker and shit and talking over everything. Shouldn't you tell her to look? She's shit-faced.
Yeah, she's gone.
I've run into this situation a million times. I'm not like, hey, get your bitch on a leash or whatever. I'm just, if it's your friend, you tell the fucking guy, hey, shut up, man. We're watching a show. You're drunk. We're watching a show. Just bring it down. Why? He wouldn't do it.
You know what?
Is it his job?
Yeah, no, this is very like
tough.
Arab of you to hey, get your property
Did you try
control.
telling her first, or did you?
That's what I was asking.
I said to her, look, you're either going to have to cut yourself off right now and sober up, or you can pound 2 more drinks and pass out. I'll take either. I prefer the 2 more and the pass out than the sober up part, but you got to do one or the other.
You just got to shut up. I feel like if you tried first and then you went to, because I agree that even if it was like a female friend, you're like, tell your friend, maybe it's better coming from you. She's embarrassing herself.
Yeah. How do you handle hecklers?
I mean, it's interesting when females are doing. It's hard when they're not being a dick and they're just having too much fun.
Oh,
but the way I handle a woman like that is usually like, hey, I don't want to fuck you, so this isn't fun for me. You're not cute. Like, shut the fuck up. But sometimes it's hard when people are so shit faced. But I find, unfortunately, what works the best to actually get them quiet is a little more like aggressive, in a funny way, shutting them down. But then they really shut down. But also you're gambling.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's the opposite, and you're like, oh, this is the whole show now. And
you win the crowd and kill the heckler. Yeah.
But it also is like, dude, get your friend. Like, does no one in this party have any self-awareness? Everyone here hates you.
It's a 4-top table. She's sitting against the stage.
Of course.
Her husband's sitting across from her, and her friend is sitting right next to her.
Just go, hey.
Shh.
Just reel it in.
If you drink enough, at some point, it's not your wife, it's your dog, and your dog's shitting all over my lawn. Like, you got to handle this.
That is the guy that doesn't pick up the shit.
That's on you.
It's the fucking...
And this guy gets all defiant and weird and bro-y kind of stuff. And I'm like, first off, okay, I didn't want any of this.
Yeah.
I was out here to do my act. She started yelling. I tried to get her to quiet down. She would not. So I'm asking you, as her husband, if you could lean across it or fucking kick her in the shin, like really hard or something. Do something with this person that's disrupting this entire show.
Oh, and then he gets all bro.
He gets all broed up. I pick up my own clothes, bro.
Yeah, I could see that, bud.
Then that's the early show.
Oh,
the
no.
late show, exact same seat. 10 seconds into the act, drunken chick just starts screaming. And I'm like, is it the chair? Is it the chair? Because now the audience doesn't know what I'm talking about, but I'm like, you guys don't get it. There was a woman who sat here 2 hours ago, was equally as drunk and disruptive, and just this one chair against the fucking edge of the stage.
It's
Adam
the good
Carolla
luck chair.
in Groundhog Day 2.
But also, sometimes I'm like, a little bit the club staff. Like, someone come over and say
I
something.
figure the security would be all over people.
You
but
would think
They
that.
don't.
Security is a loose term in a lot of
Yeah,
clubs.
sometimes you'll see them like come over and say something and then walk back, but then they'll just start up again.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot to physically get them out of there.
Oh, yeah. And most people, like, running security at clubs are, like, aspiring comedians. And it's like, well, that woman's going to beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you're on stage, you're in perfect position for a front kick.
Yeah, I should have kicked the guy right in the head.
Yeah, chest. Chest is a good, you always want to aim center mass.
Center mass. Oh, this guy and her and I'm like, eh.
And it's just gotten worse with, like, crowd work clips, too. People, I've noticed, I don't know if you have, people come to shows and they think, like, they want us to get involved.
I
And
kind
you're
of like it, Raucous.
no, shut up. I'm going to do my jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Another guy had a full-size German Shepherd.
What?
Full-size German Shepherd. And it was such a...
It was drunk talking during your act?
It was barking the whole time.
No, I was like in the back, and Mike August came in. And he goes, "This guy with a full size German Shepherd, just sitting right in front with a full size German Shepherd."
Dog?
He's like, "You got to get into that, man. That guy's got a full." Guy turned out to be a complete weirdo.
Of course,
he did the worst. Like that, when you're asking, like you just go, "Oh, what's the service dog for it?" Don't go there, bro. And he like sits like a weird, stilted, angry, like fucked up.
Yeah, but that's PTSD, bud.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, this guy's a veteran. You just mangled him
like,
from the stage.
Listen, what's you got a German Shepherd? What's his name? It's a her.
Okay. Does her have a name?
Fuck, God damn it. And also, what the fuck? Why'd I even listen to Mike and why'd I do all this for?
I told you, Mike August.
Yeah, how do you bring a dog around everywhere and have that bad of a personality?
Giant German Shepherd.
I'm falling on the side of PTSD or something. He's trying to go out and laugh, but he's too nervous, and Ace Man got him with the eyes.
Don't sit in the front.
Don't sit in the front.
He froze up. He couldn't talk.
That's like if someone came in a full clown suit and sat in the front, you're not going to not mention it. You're like, there's a dog in here. I have to say something.
Yeah.
I identify as a clown.
Morgan & Morgan. Well, there's a dirty little secret that the insurance industry may not want you to know. They're trying to keep it under wraps. Insurance companies profit by holding on to your money for as long as possible. So after an accident, they might do whatever they can to delay or deny your claim. This way, they can keep those profits growing. Morgan & Morgan fights hard against these corporations to fight to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. These guys are good guys. I've spoken to them a few times. They're all over the place now. I was just in Florida. I saw one of their billboards. When Morgan & Morgan takes on a case, they're almost always going after the big insurance companies and not the individual who is at fault. They're going after the man. There's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. Am I right, Dawson?
Hiring the wrong firm could be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. This is a paid advertisement.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Pow! O'Reilly Auto Parts, man. You love these guys. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need to maintain and repair your car. Love these guys. Always been a fan. Always used O'Reilly. Always in the neighborhood I was in. I went and found them wherever I moved. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. So stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Do it today. Or you can visit us online, O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. Look, it is your partner's job. I say this all the time. If a guy gets himself some really funky town cowboy boots and he decides to go out on a Saturday night, it is his wife's job to go, hey, take those off. We're not going out with those on. You look horrible. Those are lame. Don't do it. Like, that's her job. And then it's your job, if your wife gets shit-faced, to shut her up at a comedy club. And also, like, people go, oh, maybe he was pussy whipped and whatever. I'm sorry. If you're going to be drunk and disruptive, your partner's allowed to say something to you for your own good.
It makes you look bad.
See, what you're
you should
missing,
care enough that you don't want them to look bad.
Is that he knows his old lady. He knows her, and he knows it's better if she's angry at you.
He's like, I've been here before.
I know.
You don't have to go home with this woman later.
Exactly.
She beats me.
Exactly right.
All right, somebody sent, I don't know, tweeted me some guy that was having a meltdown in a liquor store, and I'm so obsessed with everyone and their meltdowns and their verbal whatevers and their, like. Okay, it's like the black chick at the airport who's told the door's shut on the plane and she can't get on, and then she rips all the computers off and throws everything everywhere. Like, just the inability just to walk away from stuff.
To take rejection.
Okay, I'm not getting on this flight. I'm going to go have some beers over at the TJ's over there, and I'll get the next flight. Whatever. This guy, what somebody said, is a mix between me and Steve Buscemi.
I see Steve Buscemi immediately.
Said Steve Buscemi and Adam Carolla had a son, and he's trying to get into a bodega or something, and the guy has like a pool cue, and he's trying to keep him out, and he won't just leave. But we'll just hear a minute of it.
Fucking world side. Nigga, say fucking world side. I swear to fucking God. Yo, whoa. Say fucking. Get out my store, bro. Say fucking world. Yo, say fucking.
Get out my fucking store, bro. I'll open your head, bro.
Yeah.
I don't mind opening your fucking head.
Fuck you.
I'll open your fucking head.
Yo, it costs 7 more cents. Inland. Don't ever fucking touch me.
The guy's definitely drunk. I get,
bro,
but
drunk.
He's going into the store.
Move away from me.
Also about 5'7".
Don't fucking hit me. One fucking.
He's got a, Adam Carolla, Steve Buscemi
One chance.
vibe.
Yeah.
Such an athletic stance. I don't know what
He's tough.
Yeah.
Move away from me. Come on.
The people just leaving.
Well, we're now at the point. Ooh, whacked him.
Yep. That's what happens.
Get the fuck out, bro.
Are you serious?
By the way,
unfazed.
Get the fuck out, bro.
I do like when someone says, I'm going to hit you with the stick 28 times, and then they hit you with the stick, and you go, you serious, bro? It's like, yeah.
Get the fuck out. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Get the fuck out. What are you gonna do?
Oh, God. Could you imagine? All right, stop. Could you imagine trying to run a liquor store in this America?
Not at all.
Could you just imagine just doing retail in this America?
Oh, I have watched multiple stores where people come in and just full fist grab things, and the people, nobody's stopping anyone.
There's nothing to do. And by the way, if somebody tries to stop them, they get angry at the person. Like, could you just imagine running retail in this America?
I don't miss it.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. People are so insane and so entitled, and this is crazy.
I know, and he's drunk and whatever, but also, can you imagine you just got to deal with this every fucking day?
You're like, I'm just trying to feed my family.
Yes,
Please.
Just move out.
Just get out.
But hey, they're in the business, okay? The dope dealer knows he might get shot at. The liquor store guy knows he's going to have a slam hammer Mexican dude who looks like Adam Carolla come in there and fuck a bag of Cheetos in front of him.
You just want women getting their wine and young frat boys buying their
you want
cheap
that.
alcohol.
Yeah.
If you live in the hood, if you want to make those margins,
I don't know where.
You better be ready to hit somebody over the head with a pool cue.
We just need therapy. That man needs a therapist.
He needs an MRI.
They need a corner store where people could just get a checkup.
He needs a CAT scan.
Can you imagine working like at a 7-Eleven in a shitty neighborhood, like a job, like behind the counter?
I worked at a Hess gas station in Tampa.
Oh, that sounds bad.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was just a lot of people, like a lot of creepy guys coming in trying to get their Marlboro Reds. I was like 20. I was 20. Hey, what are you doing after your shift? Running. My
serpentine
God.
to my car.
People just throw up on the hot dogs. You're like, another day in paradise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I would
How
just be
late would you work?
I didn't do the third shift. I'd get off at 11, and anytime something really bad happened, when the other person came in, I would just act like it just happened. I'd be like, yeah, it's crazy. It just happened. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Clean
So
up
people
shit.
would like blow chunks on the.
Oh, yeah, knocking stuff over. People are just like pulling donuts out of the little donut shelf for no reason, and you're like, why? Why is this in your drunken? Can't you just go blow a stranger and go to bed like the rest of us?
Yeah.
You have to terrorize me.
Yeah, you fuck Dane Cook and go to bed.
Yeah, go eat 11 lobsters and go home.
By the way, market price for a lobster, man. I've never paid under $70 for a lobster. She had 26 lobsters on there. Like Dane Cook, that bill between his 28 tequila shots and her 44 lobsters would have been $17,000.
Financial ruin for Chuck.
Yes,
Yeah,
Chuck.
good luck, Chuck.
That's right.
That's so, and he's dying and dashing with a woman who cannot dash.
Rascal scooters go 50 miles an hour.
I mean, they don't mess around.
Jesus Christ. Not with her on it. But, I couldn't imagine working behind the counter in one of those places, especially at night.
It's the
And
worst.
what would come in Tampa, did you say?
Tampa. I went to school, University of South Florida. Go Bulls.
Oh, Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
What must have rolled in there on a weekend? Oh, my God.
It was a dark, dark place.
Yeah.
I
like
was
Tampa.
like, welcome to Hess gas station. Check out our blimpies.
Yes.
Subs.
Really?
And there was just this large, bald gay man with a glass eye named Thomas ran the blimpies. And he'd be like, I'm inventing a new sandwich tonight, honey. He was out of his mind.
Oh, they had like a kiosk.
Yeah, like the little, you know how you go in and they have the little restaurant area?
Yeah,
He'd be
yeah.
like, sorry, I'm late. I was at a bathhouse in South Tampa. I'm like,
Whoa, really?
out of here.
Is that what happened to his eye? Got a good dickin'.
It's dark in those bathhouses.
Wow.
You got to be careful.
You don't run toward a glory hole, son. You walk very cautiously.
He's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, you want to lose an eye? Jog at a glory hole.
Yeah, I was in Lutz in a glory hole between a Pizza Hut and
He
a
was
fine
a
dining
bald
restaurant.
gay guy with a missing eye
Yeah.
who talked about his sexual conquest.
Yeah, and I was like, you're the only one keeping me safe. I'm in trouble.
And he worked at Blimpies.
Yeah.
Could you get a Blimpie to go, like half price?
Oh, he hooked me up.
He hooked
it
you up?
I, did question when I let him make the sandwiches, but it was a free sandwich. I was in college. I'm like, all right, well.
Why? Because he could only see half of it and he put mustard on.
We don't know what's on his hands. I don't know. I trust he's washing them, but he's a sick man.
Well, if you really think about like working the convenience store, like the gas station and stuff, there's really only the ratio to from good to bad is way off. It's all like chewing tobacco and Mountain Dew and porno magazines and stuff like everything you put in your mouth is bad for you. Everything you view rots your brain. Everything's an addiction to service,
It's sick.
so you're only going to. So if you go into like a Whole Foods in Santa Monica, you're going to attract a group of people that take care of themselves and so on and so on. They care about themselves. But a place like this, it's just Blimpies and Mountain Dew.
Yeah, Blimpies is the healthiest thing
and
there.
Skull, tobacco. and it's like there's nothing. So it's
den of
only
sin.
going to attract people, the worst,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You're
And we
right.
would sell like 12 packs. I mean, this was like, I don't know how many years ago, 15 years ago, but just you get 2 cases of Mountain Dew, 2 for $5, and people would come in and be like, this is unheard of. And just 3 teeth stalking it. We had to like cut off people or like maximum of 10.
Who are the people that eat at those places? Like I'm
My family.
Your family? Do they prefer it or they don't care? Like when I go in there and I see, these are hot dogs filled with cheese, and I'm like some kind of chili that I don't know where that came from. And I'm like,
human remains.
I can go to a place and get basically a good version of this for another $2. Why am I doing this?
It's I thought it was convenience.
I think it's finances, but yeah, convenience.
And every time I go and get one, for me, I'm a wary traveler. Yeah. And this is the last resort.
Yeah, you're out of steam and you're like, sustenance. It's like crawling through the desert.
You know what I think it is? I think I have a theory. The theory is I learned at conventions, if you ever go to a big convention of any kind, you're in a big convention center. At some point, they have food, but it's shit food because it's like convention food.
Yeah.
But when you walk in, you'll go, oh, that pizza smells awesome because shitty pizza smells better than good pizza.
It does.
And it's like to a dog, a can of Alpo smells better than filet mignon.
Oh yeah.
Because one is sort of subtle and the other's just big. And that grease and when you walk in, you go, oh yeah.
Primal.
Now it's horrible, but it smells better than a place that does good food.
Good food. Well, I also think there's a lot to say about most dogs haven't had a filet mignon. I used to love gas station hot dogs.
You did?
Yeah, and then I had other food. I used to be like, get dressed up, girls. We're going to Chili's. And now I'm like, oh, I've seen the light.
I have the same thing. If you are in a certain socioeconomic class, your taste buds haven't formed for like beautiful things, right?
Yeah, it's like when you think Applebee's is fancy, you're gonna be like, I love a gas station hot dog.
Yeah, exactly.
It depends because I was with the poor people, but I had some sort of intellect that things bothered me.
No, but when you first got money, I bet your taste buds exploded, right?
Well, I always
thought knew what you wanted.
Well, no matter how poor I was, I'd go to people's houses and they'd have Kraft singles. And I'd go, I want real cheese. Like, I don't want this shit. And they go, this is cheese, bro. And I go, it's not. It's weird chemical fake cheese.
It's plastic.
And they would have Sunny D instead of orange juice. Yeah. And Miracle Whip tasted weird to me. Most of the stuff was like, this tastes like chemical weird shit. And yes, I'm poor. And theoretically, I'm white trash. But I still don't like your bullshit. Like, I still would like something. I want real orange juice. And so I always had this thing where stuff tasted fake and weird. I did not like Gatorade. I didn't like Sunny D. I didn't like Yoo-Hoo with chocolate milk with water.
Okay, Yoo-Hoo is disgusting to me.
Okay, that's my whole point. That's
diarrhea chocolate water.
I didn't have the money for it, but I wanted the good stuff. But so you can be indoctrinated into it, but I wasn't. I was like, I don't have any money for... I used to go to the Gelson's, and they had a fresh orange juice maker. You ever see one of those?
Oh, yeah. Where that you watch little oranges get
got a big hopper of things. Yeah. And it's and you sit there, and I would just stare at it like,
like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it'd be like $7 for a half gallon or something. Like,
one of these days.
But I mean, I wanted the good stuff.
Yeah. I learned about it late. I think that you just got lucky. That's an evolution.
Yeah.
That you early on were like, this is bad for me. Because I was chugging Mountain Dew.
It wasn't...
Or that it wasn't good.
It wasn't the bad for you part. I had a sort of discerning taste where I was like, that Kraft cheese tastes weird because it's not cheese. I mean, I wasn't a genius, but I was like... Mountain Dew tastes weird. Like, I'd rather have root beer. And Sunny D tastes like a sort of composite of different citrus chemicals or something. But I kind of want real. I want the real version of it. But I felt that way about, like, cars and women and stuff, too.
Yeah, real women, real cars, real women and their lobsters.
No, I didn't like shitty American muscle cars, like dump guy cars.
Oh, you like the real, like, foreign, good, speedy Porsche, Ferrari.
Yeah, like finesse-y kind of.
Fancy daddy cars.
Interesting cars, not just big shaker scoop muscle loud.
It's loud.
Yeah, dumb guy
Yeah,
cars.
that is a big dumb guy, like, listen to the engine.
Yeah, every car guy I run into turns out they're a muscle car guy, and it's always like, ugh.
Yeah, my friend Justin Clark, very funny comedian, loves cars, and is like, the bummer is I hate almost every car guy.
Oh, they're the worst.
Car guys are the worst.
No, but if you run into the car guys that like the interesting cars, the finesse kind of cars, then you will have a good hang with those guys.
Oh, yeah. That's my boyfriend. He's the same.
He's good?
He's a finesse car guy.
He's a finesse car guy?
Yeah.
What's he like?
I mean, I think Porsche's probably his top if he had to just like blindly pick a brand for a basic finesse car. But
that's good. It's a good sign.
I don't know. I'm always, I'm like, he's into Porsches and he's dating me? This doesn't make sense.
Does he have a Porsche?
Not yet. He's got a Lexus.
But he wants a Porsche.
Yeah, that'll be the next one, I think. Mm-hmm. His aspiring Porsche.
It's funny because Porsche's got sort of top of the food chain Porsches, and then they have little, not so exciting Porsches.
Where's the 911 fall in that, Ace?
That's good. That's right in the wheelhouse.
That's
there.
The best.
That's the one I like.
But guys you'll have this thing where a guy goes, I have a Porsche, and you go, what do you got? And I go, I got an old 924, and you'll go,
that's a crappy one?
Sweet. That's nice.
I'm not educated on this
the entry level. You really can't afford a Porsche.
Yeah, that's it's basically going, I got a 914.
Yeah,
People go, oh. Man, I thought we had a Porsche here.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you're good for you, bud.
It's basically like going, I got an Emmy.
Yeah.
Local daytime Emmy. And people go, oh,
for a news
not a
segment.
not a real Emmy.
Yeah.
I got a daytime, local. Yeah, it's a downgrade.
And you're like, well, that's probably really nice to your family.
I remember one time I was talking to some kid, and he was clearly kind of not the belle of the ball kind of kid, as a guy and something.
What?
And it was like, and someone was like, Steve, it was prom king. It was high school prom. And I was like, prom king, huh? And he's like, yeah. I was like, really? Like, really? I had to keep going. At some point I went, how big was your graduating class? He's like, I had 11 kids. I'm like,
it's all so clear.
Okay, now I'm picturing
He's
North
like,
Hollywood High.
homeschooled.
Yeah. That things will snap into focus.
Yeah, it's all relative. You
probably
do
has
a little
a 924.
Digging. Yeah, that's his score
Everybody,
on the SATs.
listen. Everybody needs to be profiled, including races and genders and
God bless
cultures,
America.
and everyone needs to be profiled. And then once in a while, there's a little weird hitch in your profiling.
Yeah,
right?
where you go, this doesn't fit with what my brain thinks.
Right, but then it'll turn out and make sense later.
Yeah.
I was telling Mike on the road, when things don't make sense, just apply either gay, black, or the metric system, and it'll clear it right up. Like,
you're European. I understand
who
that.
leases car rims? I don't get who would lease car rims. Okay.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, that's my whole point. If metric system, gay or black, will straighten up about 96% of the conundrums you have. It'll make sense when you find out. Okay, you'll not be confused about anything anymore. But I'm sitting here, and there's a guy who used to be around here, Colton. You remember him?
Of course.
Right. And that guy's an upstanding citizen.
Love this.
He's a good kid. He's religious. He's conservative, and he's a good kid. And so when good kids go bad, I get confused because I'm like, that's not him. That's not him doing that.
And you're like,
right?
What switched you? Who did this to you?
Well,
Colton?
no, it becomes confusing to me. Like a month and a half ago, somebody left the pastry bag open to get stale or something. And I said, who left this open? I was like, Colton did it. I said, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
He's better than this.
He's better than this. And I profiled him to be different. And then it turned out Byron was behind him in line, and Colton said, yeah, I'll leave it open if you want some. And then Len left. So Byron left it open was the whole point.
Classic Byron.
Which was fine. I was back. It's not a judgment. Not a judgment. It's just an uncult. Listen.
They're looking through the window don't sell me
You
down.
can join the ranks of Mike August, who leaves everything open all the time, 100% of the time, and he's a good dude. It's not a pox upon you.
I have ruined several boxes of cereal.
He wouldn't do it. Colton wouldn't do it. That's what I knew. So he comes in here, and he's here last week. He comes back with a guest, and he's saying hi. He's been gone for 2 months. And then at some point, he and the guest who he's with go, all right, we got to leave. Good seeing you. Good guy. And he leaves. And then I come across and I see a cold Starbucks Frappuccino with ice in it just kind of sweating out on top of the counter.
Colton wouldn't do this.
And I go, Colton wouldn't do this. But I looked at it and it said Colton on it. And I was like, Colton.
My God, I was wrong.
But how?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And I'm like, well, he was with a guy, and the guy's like in a hurry and probably said, come on, let's go. And they were going off. They were from Florida, and they're going to do something else, right? I go, but Colton wouldn't have forgot. Colton wouldn't have forgot.
Colton must have ordered this.
Yes, Colton.
For the guy.
Colton pre-ordered it and had his name on it, but that guy...
He wouldn't carelessly leave this behind, sweating out
I
half
think
of...
you've put Colton on a pedestal.
I have. But then, so I looked at it, and I went, well... says Colton on it, and he left it, and I threw it away. And then 10 seconds later, Daphne, my assistant, came in and went, has anyone seen my coffee?
Daphne!
And I said, where'd you get the coffee? Colton ordered it for me when he came in. I'm like, yes! That's why his name is on it.
I knew it.
Yeah, and she didn't do anything wrong. She just set it down and went to the next room. No. I thought the owner of it left.
Had abandoned their coffee.
Had abandoned their coffee. But
I'm on Daphne's side.
But there's no judgment with Daphne. But I'm doing what I do. I'm patrolling. Colton screwed the order of the universe up because I'm like, that kid doesn't forget stuff. He's not.
He's meticulous. He gets his things done.
There's people that never put anyone else out, and then there's people who
constantly
who park. There are people who come here who park in the middle of the parking lot, literally stop their car in the middle of the fucking parking lot and just leave. And they come in, and then at some point you go, there's 9 people that can't get out. And they go, you want me to move my car? It's like, yeah, but next time you can think about it.
There's a spot.
Before you block 9 people in, you can think about not leaving your car in the middle of the parking lot. But there's plenty of those people. Uh-oh.
I'm not always.
Where'd you park?
No, I'm in a spot.
Okay.
Because, thank God, Daphne was out there and pointed me.
Good.
I have parked. There's a thing in Alaska where people will park because snow builds up on the sides of the street. People will park in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and that's normal. Wow. And then I did that once in Florida at a family gathering, and I got out, and everyone was like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" There was just one truck in the middle of a cul-de-sac.
Yes.
Don't show your face here.
You disrupted the natural order of Florida.
So in Alaska, they have to stay away from the curb, right?
They do that. It just, I don't know why. It's just, I think it's just northern rednecks because it's like, how is this any better? But it's because people don't.
And you went from Mississippi to Alaska?
Yeah. Wow. What a nightmare. Drove there. 13 days in a car with my mom. Hopped
13
up on
days?
No-dos. Being like, it's an adventure, kids.
Does it take 13 days?
Probably shouldn't. Well,
do you have to drive across Canada?
We veered west toward Texas so she could see her sister one more time before we moved up. And then we went to, I think, is it Bellingham, Washington? Something?
Yeah.
We got on a ferry.
Oh, you got on a ferry.
That was 3 or 4 days before we drove up through the Alaska-Canada highway. My mom's like, it's a cruise ship. It's a Greyhound bus on the seat. But
wow.
It was, and then we got there, and within a week I found out I break out into hives if I get too cold. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You break out in hives, you get too cold.
Yeah, I just
I've
have
never heard
an
that
old
one.
Jewish man body because I went to college in Florida, and I had a seizure from being too hot. And I was like, I just need to be in 72 degrees.
Alaska's magnificent. I'll say that about it.
It's beautiful. I think everyone should visit,
yes.
And it takes a very unique person to live there.
Well, you know what? You shot your special in New Orleans, and I kind of have had that same experience with people. Or you want to go, you want to visit, you want to have some fun, but I don't think you want to move there.
No, I'll just turn into a beignet in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I think I gained 5 pounds the day I was there shooting.
Yeah, from inhaling powdered sugar.
Yeah, just housing that and drinking Hurricanes and being like, we're going to shoot a special. I'm like, unless I'm...
What club were you at?
It was actually not a club. We turned. There's a really cool New Orleans themed store that sells cool clothes and little niche things. Beads called Dirty Coast. Actually, no beads is surprising. But we flipped it around and turned it into. We put up a curtain and turned it into a little tight. It was
nice.
60 seater.
Yeah, completely. Intimate. It works. It's a really funny special.
Thank you.
It's like got a lot of edge, but not for the sake of edge, because you can't get caught trying to be edgy.
Yeah, you don't want to
just
be shocking. They definitely did more of that when I first started. It was just like something crazy, and it's like, okay, but have a joke, have a point.
Yeah, and stuff smart, interesting. Interesting. That's. I think people go, they want to hear maybe hilarious, but for me, I like interesting. I like interesting.
But it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was funny. It was funny, but it's interesting as well. Like lots of good angles.
Interesting can go, both ways. Of like, it was interesting, but I appreciate it.
It's always a compliment for me. All right, Cody Walker's waiting. Jessica, I'll give you all the plugs off at the end of the show, and it was good seeing you, my dear.
Thank you for having me. This was wonderful. I appreciate it.
Come back anytime. We'll take a quick break. Back with Cody Walker right after this.
Stream all the movies and shows you love for free on Pluto TV.
Say what now? Showtime.
That means drama is free, with heart-wrenching stories from Love and Basketball, Power, and Greenleaf.
In this family, we live by the Spirit.
And laughter is free with gut-busting comedies like Key and Peele, The Neighborhood, Everybody Hates Chris, and Boomerang. Watch all the hits, all for free, from all your favorite devices.
Oh my God, I love it!
Feel the free Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Rosetta Stone. Spring is all about fresh starts and growth. No better time to start learning a new language with Rosetta Stone, where you can make real progress in a way that feels natural and engaging, not frustrating. Rosetta Stone is the leading language learning program available on desktop and mobile, designed to fully immerse you in your chosen language for more of a natural and effective learning experience. Learn faster, retain longer. Rosetta Stone immerses you in the new language naturally, helping you think and communicate with confidence. Perfect your pronunciation. Learn anywhere, anytime with Rosetta Stone. Right, Dawson?
Today, Adam Carolla Show listeners can take advantage of Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership, 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/Adam. That's 50% off, unlimited access to 25 language courses for the rest of your life. Redeem your 50% off at rosettastone.com/Adam today. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. I've had two major crises in my life. My second divorce and Howard Stern, 97.1 here in LA, got me through it, listening to him. And the death of my mother now, that you're getting me through it. Thank you. Okay, bye.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Oh, well, thank you. I've heard a bit of that on the road, people being nice, and I'm always flattered. Cody Walker's joining us. He's got an event coming up, or a couple, actually, in the Bay Area. It'll be May 31st. In Los Angeles, it'll be June 28th. And where do we go? Where's the Fuel Fest website?
That's it, fuelfest.com. We kept it really simple for everybody, Adam.
So did Paul get you into cars, or were you always kind of into cars?
Yeah, well, okay, here's the thing. I'm 15 years younger than Paul. There are two siblings in between us. I was very much the accident of the family. Same parents and everything. I was just the tag along.
Right.
So Paul had a huge influence on my life, being much older than I, but our father and grandfather were also really into cars and motorcycles. So I guess, it was just kind of destined to be, but certainly Paul had a huge impact on my life. The first Fast came out when I think I was in 7th grade. Very impressionable in those years. And like a lot of people growing up here in the States anyways, like I'm not going to lie and say I was into tuner cars and all of that stuff before Fast. That's what put all of that on the map for me. And I was kind of there on the fringe, watching Paul kind of get into that whole scene and then go from JDM to Euro and everything in between. So
yeah, JDM is Japanese, and then it was funny. So we were talking off the air. Well, you were off the air, but we were talking moments ago about car guys and how you think a guy's a car guy, but all he wants to talk about is his 72 Chevelle or something. And I'm not that interested because I like vintage cars and race cars and interesting cars. Right. And I know, and so I can always tell when a guy likes the right kind of car, if he's the kind of car guy I would like to hang around with. And I think your brother Paul had some lightweight M3 BMWs, which would have been E36, I guess. E34? Yes. E36, yeah. So in terms of a cool car guy, it was a cool finesse car because it's a BMW M3, but it's radio delete, I don't know, heater delete, like lightweight and really cool one-off pieces. And so when you go, I have these cars, I go, okay, that's a car guy that I like.
Yeah, and I think kind of to that point too is there's car guys that are just really wealthy people that have a very expensive car. That's great, but there's different, that doesn't make you a car guy, right?
No, it's like, buying a football team and making yourself quarterback or something. It doesn't really mean you're a great quarterback. You just have the team, and there are a lot of, there's two. Okay. So at the top of the food chain is just the rich guy who just buys whatever the Ferrari or Lamborghini is and puts rims on it. And I got no time for that guy. And then at the bottom of the food chain, there's the poor guy who won't stop talking about his Chevelle. And I got no time for that guy either. I like the finesse cars, the lighter weight cars, the cars you rev up, throw around out on a track.
Yes, yeah. You have an awesome collection of cars, and my favorite car that I own. I'm not a collector at all. But my favorite car is my little Honda S2000 for that reason. High revving, lightweight, very fun, gentle on consumable parts. That's been a really fun car.
I will tell you this piece of trivia about a Honda 2000. A Honda 2000 had the highest horsepower per liter in a production car that was naturally aspirated, no blower, no turbocharger, 240 horsepower out of 2 liter, so 120 horsepower per liter, and it was the top of the food chain until the Ferrari 360, I think, came out, and then it got it just by a little bit in the horsepower per liter category, if that's correct.
That I knew it was a Ferrari. I didn't know which one.
Well, 360 was naturally aspirated, and I guess it was a 3 liter or 3.6. But the point is that was a $100,000 Ferrari. And those Hondas are going up, as you probably know.
They are. I've owned mine for about 7 years now, and I paid, they were going up then. I paid $22,000 for it, and it had like 65,000 miles on it. It was pure original minus wheels, but really well taken care of. But yeah, I think I'd fetch maybe around 35 for it today.
Yeah, it's a newer kind of collectible, and time marches on because what happens is you realize, oh, that car's 20 years old, and you go, what? That's a new car, or like your brother Paul. Over 10 years ago, he passed. Like, I would have gone, oh, I don't know, it wasn't that long ago. Over 10 years is crazy.
Yeah, coming up on 12 this November. It is. It's crazy. Time is a thief, and it really is. It's flying by.
Yeah, so for you act, and you got to do the car thing, and then in a weird way, sort of followed Paul's trajectory. In your career and in your hobbies as well.
Yeah, I gotta correct you on something. I did a little bit of acting. I don't run around. I don't consider myself to be an actor. I am a car enthusiast, auto enthusiast. Paul was the actor, and even he had his 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I don't know if you've heard stories about that, but he just wanted to be left alone, wanted to go surfing, drive his cars, and live a more basic life. He had a very modest home up in Santa Barbara, and he failed upwards. He'd tell you the same thing. He kind of found himself in a funny situation, and I think that's why so many people loved him so much, is because he was just so down to earth and kind of take it or leave it. And that attitude, it worked for him. It really did.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had, in the past, there were the Paul Newmans and the Steve McQueens, and I think they wanted to be left alone and go racing, essentially, as well. They didn't really want, Paul Newman lived in Connecticut, like outside of Danbury, Connecticut. He didn't want anything to do with the scene further than Santa Barbara, but out of the scene, and he really just wanted to go racing. Yeah. And I get it. I mean, I don't think people fully get it, but when you get sort of bit by the bug or the car bug, or even especially racing and stuff like that, you just want to go do it. You don't really, standing around on set it doesn't feel satisfying after you've been doing these types of activities.
Sure. Yeah. That sums up Paul's feelings towards all of that. There's some people that all they ever wanted to be was, an actor or someone big and famous. And he looked up to professional athletes and stuff like that, and kind of just was, he was a bum, kind of lived in a garage and kind of made his way, and was going to community college and thought he was going to become a marine biologist, his love for the ocean. And he'd just walk into an audition room and he'd land the job. So it kind of funded the other stuff that he liked to do, until he got real lucky and made some big moves, and kind of, I guess that's history.
So you doubled for him in Fast 7, right?
That's right. Yeah. Myself and my other brother, Caleb, who's in between.
That's funny. Both of you did.
Yes. And you see the reason being, they used Weta, which is that they do all that CGI, all that crazy stuff. That group out of New Zealand, from Peter Jackson, used them or started them for Lord of the Rings. Mm-hmm. They brought Gollum to life and all those characters. Mm-hmm. So it was Weta who actually did all of the CGI, and what they found was that Caleb and I both looked more similar depending on the angle of the shot. So they used us like as required, basically, for certain shots throughout the film, and we did work on that for almost 4 months.
Did you have to go to New Zealand, or could they do it out here?
No, they brought them. So we did all of our filming in Abu Dhabi, in Atlanta, of course, all that work that goes to Atlanta, and then we finished off in LA. But all of the while, Weta was there with their huge truck, and what we would do is we'd film a scene and then immediately go into their trailer with all of their state-of-the-art cameras and equipment and redo that scene again, deliver the same lines and the same look and the same expression. It was a process.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure it's come a long way in the last 10 years plus, right? Everything from a technological standpoint has, but amazing that they were able to pull it off even back then. I love the franchise. I've always loved the Fast and Furious franchise. Chris Morgan's a friend of mine, and you probably know him. And I just thought the way they handled that was magnificent. I was not expecting it to be that touching and to be handled that well. It's an action franchise. I didn't know that they would be able to, really do the tip of the cap that Paul deserved in such a way that was so tasteful and moving. But it really was. I'll well up seeing the last 5 minutes of that Fast 7 every time.
Yeah, I agree with you. My whole family agrees with that. They did a beautiful job with that. none of us knew how that was even gonna. It was such a weird time, honestly. It was super difficult getting through the filming for that and everything. And I'll never forget actually hearing that song that Charlie Puth did with Wiz Khalifa that comes on. My brother Caleb and I were doing post, and we were doing the audio. What do they call that?
Looping.
ADR.
Or ADR.
Yeah. Yes. And we did a lot of sessions of that. And we were doing the look over scene, and then a little bit of the dialogue. And then that song would start coming on, and they would stop it because they didn't want even my brother and I to hear the song yet that they had done with Charlie Puth and Wiz Khalifa. So we actually didn't even see that final sequence until the premiere for the movie. And yeah, we were all very touched. They did a really nice job with the send-off.
Oh, great. It was perfect. Homes.com. Well, nothing says smart like looking at Homes.com. Because if you're shopping for a home and you're not at Homes.com, you are not shopping smart, my friend. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. That's why you gotta go to Homes.com. I do it, and I suggest you do it as well. Homes.com. We've done your homework. So these events are getting more popular, and I'm happy about them. Vintage racing events, the Goodwood Festival, which if you haven't gone, you got to go and go to
on the list.
Yeah, put that on your list, because you have to go to the vintage race and the festival speed, but you really should just go to the vintage race first.
Yeah,
for sure. But these events, there's Lufta Fest or Lufta Cult or whatever it is, the Porsche Cult. Yes. There's that. There these things. I did the Rennsport. I've done the Rennsport reunion a few times. Like, it's like stuff. This stuff didn't really exist, and now it does exist in a big way, and that's good, right?
Yeah, totally. No, I'm all for it. It's kind of, it feels at times that like we're like, I don't know, breaking the law by loving fast cars. You know what I mean? It just feels like we're under attack at times, especially in California. It's like, we've got our show, our Fuel Fest event at the Pomona Fairplex on June 28th. And we're super excited about that because they have obviously that iconic drag strip there. What other drag strips are in Southern California anymore?
Yeah, there used to be Lions, and there used to be Riverside Raceway, and there used to be a lot of
Irwindale had a quarter mile.
Oh,
right. We were at Irwindale for the last 4 years. That was our home for our LA show. Of course, it's gone now. It's being turned into an Amazon warehouse. No joke. So that was really sad. But we're excited to go to Pomona. We've been talking with NHRA for the last couple of years. So we're partnering with them, and we're actually doing like, run what you brung. Mm-hmm. People can go on the website and actually fill out the form and get teched and whatnot. And come out and run the quarter-mile drag strip. And to my knowledge, that's never been done before. Like, these are cars that people have built in their garages and whatnot that are going to get a chance to do this and run at our show, which will be really fun.
Yeah, it's fun. You get to participate, and you get to be around like-minded people, and the music's great, and the beer's flowing, and it's a good time. I've been to every different event, and it's always good because it's car people, and I don't know, they'd be the opposite of like, I don't know, female Democratic politicians. This would be the opposite. This would be like people you like, you think alike, you have the same kinds of thoughts, you know, and they know what you're talking about when you talk to them about stuff. It's just, and also like when you do racing with these guys, they come over, they'll lend you tools or parts and they help you out and that kind of stuff. Like it's a community.
Oh yeah, it's a total community. I mean, even if it's there's the one thing you have in common, like it's enough. I've been fortunate to go to a lot of different events, even outside of the United States. We do an event in Japan. We do a Fuel Fest in Japan at Fuji Speedway, which is unbelievably cool. There's obviously a language barrier, but it's what do we have in common? Our love of cars, our love for the culture. Yeah. And that's enough. That's enough. I've made a ton of friends out there, and my Japanese is awful, terrible. And their English might be the same, but it's like, let's go drive the canyons. Let's go do some toge. Let's go grab some food and drive our cars. It's a common, it's a passion. There's car people all over the world. And I love it. I love the chance to be able to do this. It's really been really, really cool. It's been a fun ride for sure.
Are you working on any projects yourself, like Project Cars? There's a lot of good stuff. Singer came out and they started making Porsches, but they took them to the next level, and everyone fell in love with Singer Porsches, and they're $1 million+ now. And then folks started looking around and doing other versions of that with Porsches. And then Icons was doing it with trucks and 4x and Broncos and stuff like that. And then the Z car guys started getting into it, where people basically realized it's a good platform to jump off of. Why don't we do a Z car, but let's go next level with it. Like if the factory back in the day could have done whatever they wanted and price was not an issue, then this is the version of a 240Z they would have done. And I love seeing the Singer version of the Z car and all that kind of stuff. It warms my heart. And they're doing it with a lot of different cars that they're sort of jumping off with. It starts life as this and it ends up being an exquisite version of it. But I don't know if you're working on anything.
I nothing quite like that. My newest acquisition, that's a dream car for me, and it's also, I guess, a big reflection of my age and everything. I'm 36 years old. But is a GTR. Yeah. The current generation, I got the final year car, so it's a 2024 and a half, a T-Spec Takumi edition, which is basically a final edition of a T-Spec car. And the thing is, Adam, is because it's a unique edition of the N. Like, I'm driving it. I have about 3,000 miles on it. I've taken it to the track twice already. I'm not afraid to drive it. In fact, my goal is to kind of have one of the higher mileage ones on the road. There's 50 of them for the North American market. But because it's so special and kind of the way that it came packaged, I'm not going to do anything crazy to it. I'm going to just kind of do an OE plus type of stuff to it for those that don't, original equipment plus. So I'm just going to swap out exhaust and intake and simple things, but just kind of keep it pure is kind of my goal with that car right now.
Was that Paul? Was he driving a GTR in 7? Was that, or was it the one before?
He drove one in several of the films. I want to say there's going to be people out here watching this that know the films front to back way better than I. You first see Paul drive an R34, the previous generation, in Too Fast. And then, of course, nobody was in the original cast was not in the third one. Then you see him again in the fourth one and in R34. I want to say it was 6 or 7 where you finally saw his character driving an R35, which was of course, the one they just retired this year.
The GTR, yeah, which is I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a Z car on steroids. I don't know. It's Japanese. It's in the Z car family, but it's juiced up in a really cool
juiced up, all-wheel drive, a lot of power. The chief of engineer for the GTR, this R35. And the last 2 generation of Zs has actually become a good friend of mine, Tamura-san and Hiroshi Tamura. And he always goes, well, the Z car is, in only ways he can say it with his accent, but a Z car is like your dancing partner. And the GTR, of course, is Godzilla.
Yeah,
right?
It's funny. I was thinking Godzilla as well. All-wheel drive, V6 probably. Yeah, not always V6. Used to be a straight 6, but twin turbo. Yeah, yes. Paul drove it in Fast and Furious 6 and 7. Just so you don't get schooled up. Cody, always great speaking to you. Fuel Fest is coming to the Bay Area. It's also coming to Los Angeles, and you can go to the website and fuelfest.com and find out all the official particulars?
Fuelfest.com, it's all there. And just one thing I wanted to add, Adam, if I can. It was 7 years ago you allowed me to come on the show to talk about the charity car show that we were doing. It was called In Memory of Paul. And we did that at College of the Canyons in Santa Clarita.
Yep.
So that was the big catalyst for this. I didn't want to go around using Paul's name, Paul this. I wanted to allow Paul to rest. I wanted to create a fun family environment for people who love the movies and love cars to come out, but also still keep with true to the whole purpose that we're doing this. Is it's also a portion of the proceeds also go to charity. And they go to Reach Out Worldwide. And we've actually raised about $700,000 doing these events for his charity. And you're based out of LA. That's originally where I am from. I grew up in LA County. I lived in Altadena until about 4 years ago. So this whole Eaton Canyon fire ordeal and the amount of destruction and what it's done to that area has just been horrible. And Reach Out Worldwide has been on the ground since one day post the fire back in January. So over coming up on 4 months now, we were actually able to take over the old Bed Bath & Beyond in Pasadena that's been shuttered for some time. That's actually become the distribution center where we I call it Reach Out Worldwide, and other community partners have come together with like the Langham Hotel. We've given away furniture, clothing. Families can sign up and get basic necessities, because the problem that we're seeing now is the lucky ones are, they've found accommodations. They've found an apartment that they can move into. But of course, they're moving in and they have no furniture because their homes were gone. Everything is up in smoke. And, unlike other parts of LA, like Altadena, you've got wealthy, and then you've got, multiple generations living in homes in Altadena. So
Altadena is not
hit really hard.
It's not the Palisades or Malibu when you talk about average income. All you need to know is my dad's last house was in Altadena, California, and my dad never had any money. So that's why I lived in Altadena. So these aren't rich folk who can stay in their celebrity buddy's pool house.
Well said.
Cody, great catching up with you again.
Yeah, thank you very much, Adam. Hey, I know you get invited to a lot of these things, but we'd love to show you a good time on June 28th at the Pomona Fairplex.
Well, all I got to say about the Pomona Fairplex is some go, some blow. So I will circle back and see if I'm in town, and if I am, I'll come out because I love it.
That would be so special for us. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thanks, Cody. All right. I'm going to be in Bellflower May 24th doing stand-up there. 2 shows at the Stand-Up Comedy Club, and then Tacoma, Washington, Tacoma Comedy Club doing stand-up there May 30th and 31st. 4 shows out there. Just go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. Jessica Michelle Singleton, you can watch her special. It's called Hi, Y'all. And it's on PunchUp Live. Until next time, it's Adam for Cody and Jessica and Mayhem saying mahalo.